Hello everyone. Overcast conditions covered most of the metropolitan area by late this afternoon, and although the temperature was still warm, it heralds the onset of the expected cool change. There were isolated showers in the far west of the state today, but the only rainfall recorded was 0.2 of a millimetre at Cook. The temperatures were still above average, and they ranged from the lowest 26 degrees at Robe up to quite a hot 41 degrees at Tarcoola, Marie, Kyancutta and Whyalla. And our maximum wasn't that far behind. Adelaide's maximum today was 37.9. That came at 3 this afternoon. The minimum temperature of 15 degrees was recorded at 6 this morning. Now, this afternoon there was a trough of low pressure lying over the west coast, as you can see here, and it's moving eastwards and it's going to be over Victoria by tomorrow morning. Behind the trough, the fresh to strong southwest to southeast airstream will bring us cooler conditions. There'll also be some moisture and unstable conditions associated with that particular trough, and that in turn will cause isolated thundery showers. But those conditions should start to clear away by Thursday. And doesn't this satellite picture make you sick? Look, the rest of the continent's cloud-free, but ours is the only area that's covered with cloud. Anyway, it is middle-level stuff, and it's associated with that particular trough of low pressure. Interstate, it's been a fine and warm day around the country. Alice Springs had the highest maximum temperature of 38 degrees today, and surprisingly the lowest was 22. Where was that? 22 degrees. Oh, yes, it was in Sydney, a silly thing. I forgot to put that in. Anyway, we also did not receive the maximum temperature from Townsville today. Perhaps it's still to come for them, but we do know their forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be fine there. It's also going to be fine in Brisbane. Sydney is going to be warm tomorrow. It'll be fine in Canberra. Due to that approaching trough of low pressure, there's going to be showers in both Melbourne and also down in Hobart. It's another warm day forecast for Perth. It's going to be fine in Alice Springs. And there's a late storm hanging about the Darwin area as usual for tomorrow. And due to the passing of that low pressure trough, we still have strong wind warnings current for the South Australian coastal waters. The forecast for the state is for a cooler, gusty southwest to southeast change, accompanied by isolated showers which will extend throughout the state by tomorrow, and there'll be moderate to rough seas. Maximum temperatures around the state should range from 31 degrees at Lee Creek down to 18 degrees in Mount Gambier, and Broken Hill is expecting the same maximum that we had today, a hot 37 degrees. In the city, it's going to be cooler, and the gusty southwest to southeast change will start to develop tonight, and we can expect an isolated shower or two. On the metropolitan waters, the winds will shift gusty southwest to southeast at 20 to 30 knots tonight. The seas are going to be moderate to rough. And despite the overcast conditions, it was still quite hot at 6 o'clock in the city. It was 34 degrees. Barometric pressure at that time, 1,006.6 hectopascals, and it was falling with a relative humidity of 13%. Overnight, it's going to go down to around about 14 degrees tonight. Tomorrow, up to around about 21. The outlook, as I said, a cooler change developing tonight, but they tell me that Thursday is going to be fine and mild, but I'll tell you more about that tomorrow night. In the meantime, it's good night from me and good night from the guys.
Good on you, Wilsey. Thanks for giving us a cooler day tomorrow. We really appreciate that.
Anytime.
Well, just before we go, another look at the day's top stories. A 24-year-old man carrying 5 homemade petrol bombs arrested in Brisbane for plotting to assassinate the Pope.
Inflexible staff meal breaks blamed for long emergency operation delays at the Royal Adelaide Hospital.
And Sydney police smash a multi-million-dollar heroin smuggling ring they claim was masterminded from prison.
It's pretty much the way we saw everything on this Tuesday, the 25th of November.
Well, not everything.
Well, no, but all we're going to tell you about anyway. The rest you'll have to imagine.
Leave to your imagination. Yeah. Until tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.
Good night.
You've been watching Eyewitness News, a presentation of Channel 10 Adelaide.